Hey guys, this is Cruise Roy. I was asked to do a video on the newest NLD app. So why don't we just head over to NOLimitdronez.com. This is a mod client that works through your computer and your drone, and also works with the new, not the newest, but a special assistance software from DJI. As you can see at their first page here, it's unleash the full potential of your DJI drone. Fly as usual without all the restrictions. It goes over, it has a little animation in the front. It explains everything it does. And the 1.5.0.0 is finally here. They had problems with the rollbacks on the Mavic Pros from the 100 up, but now you can do it with just one click. They have online support right now. As you can see, they're offline. It's 9:44 p.m. So I was asked to kind of go over it really quick. The first page is going to tell you have anti-rollback removal, unlock rounded bird, NLD auto updater. As you can see, you can read all of this if you get to their webpage. At first, it didn't have a lot of information, but now they're getting really up on all their information, and everything you need is here. You have different tabs. The download tab, the guide tab, just shows you different things you can do. The activation, of course, we'll click on that page right now. That's so you can buy it for $24.99. You need a key. You can actually download the file, use it. You just wouldn't be able to mod your bird without the activation key. And let me tell you folks, it's well worth it if you like to tinker with your drone. Just beware and be safe and fly safely. You can do a lot of things with your drones, but you as a person have to have the obligation to be civil with flying these drones. The bird map, of course, on their page is all about what their mod client works on. It gives you the different versions for the Mavic Pro, the Spark, the Inspire 2, the Phantom 4, the Phantom 4 Advanced, the Phantom 4 Pro. Works on all those except for the Inspire 1 and the Phantom 3 series. It's a little bit different software, and that's another story. It's been worked out. It gives you a fax tab, videos on their YouTube channel, or even I have a few channels, and there's a few other people that have been doing the testing. The About tab, you know, everything you need to know about these guys. I mean, they're charging you $24.99, but a lot of work went into this, and it's a lot of good work. You can contact them at any time with the contact tab. The blog, what they have here is a blog, and they're talking about anybody that asks a question, and they'll post it. So maybe before you even ask them a question, you can look through their blog and, you know, see if any fixes or the newest updates or whatever. They have an auto update now. I had the older one. And what happens with the activation, it's just a bunch of numbers that you have to type in before you can mod your bird. So let's get started. On the first page, you just go to the download page. You don't even have to buy anything right now. It's telling you this is the only Assistant 2 software it works with, the 1.1.2, not the debugger mode. That again is another video to talk about how you can change all your parameters with a 1.1.2 beta version, and you can debug it. The software and the desktop apps right now are only for Windows 32 and 64-bit. And all you got to do, guys, is click the download buttons. I'll click one, and it'll start downloading. I already have both on my PC that we can get started with. I'm going to use my Mavic Pro in this example. Also, a little information here, iOS or Android. If you have an Android device, the NLD app, Go, the DJI Go app, works well with 4.1.3 or 4.1.8. and there's also both categories for the tablets. When it comes to the iOS, it's best if it works with the 4.1.3 or lower. So that's another video on how to downgrade your iOS device if you've already gone all the way up to the top with the DJI Go app or the DJI just standard app or the Pilot app. You need to downgrade. Like I said, just push the download button and away we go. So what I'll do now is I'm going to minimize out of this. I'm going to go into this folder I already created here. It's NLD 1.5. Just like to keep everything neatened up. First off, they've been having a little issue with the firmwares downloading like molasses right now, but they're working on it, guys. There is a place and a file that you can use, Dank Drone Downloader. That's just another video to get into, but you can actually download all the firmwares, and all you need to do is put it into, once you're done downloading, you're going to have an FW folder. That's the firmware folder. You put it in there, and when you work with this with your drone, right now that's all the Mavic Pro's firmwares. I mean, I could change it out and put the Sparks firmware or the Inspire 2's firmware or whatever. Alright, so let's get started. When you download the Assistant, you will get the exe file. It will install on your computer, and this is my shortcut because it's already installed. NLD app will come to you with a firmware folder and the exe file. Okay, so what you want to do is, first off, I like running everything as an administrator, so I'm going to open up the AS2 as administrator, and I just goofed, hold on, that's to reinstall it, the NEDXE file. Okay, I'm going to run the Assistant 2, and always check your version because I have multiples running on this PC, but the version is v1.1.2. Alright, so like I said, now that this is open, you have to open up the NLD app. Slide this over. They work in series with each other. I don't know all the jargon, but they do work together, so you need both running. So I run that one as administrator. So let me minimize this window. Now I have the NLD mod client running, the 1.5.0.0, and we have the AS2 software running. Alright, and when you open them both up, if you look down here in the lower left hand corner, it's saying connect device to USB. It's blinking now that you have both on. If I only open the NLD mod client and not the AS2 software, it would be blinking connect the AS2 software. So once they're both running, you're getting a connect USB device. So the device is actually your drone. So what I'm going to do is plug in my Mavic Pro. Alright, and as you see, nothing did happen, but I'm going to turn on the drone, and please have your props off and your camera without the camera guide so you don't hurt the drone. You don't really need your remote controller on at this point. Everything's being done through the drone, and you can hear the drone start up, and you'll see this go away, or if you open up your AS2 software, you'll see the connection. There you go, it just connected. It says Mavic Pro, but please don't touch the Mavic Pro button. Go back to the NLD mod, and what you're going to see is the Mavic Pro is going to show up. The serial number is activated. Activated means I have my code put in, and there's the firmware. I'm on 1.03.0900. Now, a lot of people like 700. I'm flying both, either 700 or 900. And they're the best ones to run your parameters. Now, make sure you got a full battery on this because you can sit here and play around. As you can see, it says ready. So, and the blog shows up on here. Like if you click on NLD Home, that brings you up the home page Now, flight controller, next tab down. It's checking the available mods. And as you can see right now with the point, we'll call it 900, I can disable the altitude limit and disable the no-fly zone. I already did it. But I can do something real quick here. I'll change that. I'll uncheck it. I can't do softer braking and wind warnings and less wind warnings and disable the return home due to low battery warning because it doesn't apply to 900. They've blocked it. But if I go to 700, these will also show up and I can check them as long as they're darkened up. Like your climb, vertical speed, acceleration climb. You can change all these. You can tweak your drone. Forward max speed is at 10 meters a second, and I can change that to 18 meters a second if I want. The return home speed, so I'll just play with, you have all this stuff to play with, normal mode or sport mode. I'm going to change my speed to 18 meters a second. I'm going to disable my altitude limit. I'm going to disable the no-fly zones, and right here it's apply mods. I'm going to apply the mods, and you'll get all the values have been written successfully to your bird. Hit OK. So that was easy enough. You have the lock unlock bird, activate, deactivate. You can reset this bird right to factory resets. You can reset all the values that you played with here. You have the normal and sport mode, and then apply mods. All right. So that's the flight controller part of it. The parameters. The parameters are going to show up, and you can search for anything and what their meanings are, and what's on the bird right at this moment. I've seen the code on these birds. The Mavic Pro has a little bit over 9,000 lines of code. So watch what you're doing. It's showing you the values you have. Understand the values before you change them, but you can't. This isn't for changing them here. This is to, you can change them and modify them, but learn and do a lot of reading on what you're doing before you do it. You can brick your drone. There is a way to unbrick your drone, but for now, do some research on what you're doing. So this here, there isn't really much to talk about. I don't want you to screw up your bird, but you can change all your values. So the next one, let's go to the DJI Go 4 Patcher. Now, what this is, it only works for APK files, which are all Android devices. You can force the FCC mode. You can fake login. You can remove the forced firmware updates and upgrades. You can enable Mavic flight modes on the Spark. I mean, there's so much stuff you can do. Crystal Sky compatibility. But what it's asking you to do is you have particular versions here that it'll work with. The 4.1.14, the 4.1.8, and the 4.1.3, and the 4.1.8 tablet for your Android tablets. And like they say, they have warnings here due to legal reasons. They cannot provide you an already coded one, so you can do it yourself. It's another thing you can tinker with. All right, so what they're looking for is a clean DJI Go 4 app. And I have one on my computer. You can browse it. There's sites you can find them. I already have it downloaded, or you can hit this download button, and it's going to send you to a site to where you can download. Oh, sorry. Okay, if you look down here, it's downloading at this point. For some reason, I'm getting a network error, but it is downloading. Where was I? So now that you have a clean APK file, what we're going to do is, let me show in the folder. I want to get it out of here. Oh, it's not downloaded yet. Give it a few minutes. Once you have this clean file, you're going to browse your computer and put it in here. All right, we're using the 4.1.14. Is it ready? It's still not ready. Give it a few seconds here, or also let me look. Okay, seems I already have it here, so I usually keep all of them. But anyways, you download the file, it's still downloading. I have slow internet service right now. So I'm going to look for my clean file that I put on my desktop. If you know here, I got a folder. So it's actually the 4.4131. So I'm going to do the whatever you put here, you can hit the download button and get it. I already have it right here. So we're going to browse my desktop, and here it is. I'm going to double click it, and it puts it right here. Now after you have the clean file, we want to patch this file. It's going to be done all automatically, and you also need your drone plugged in to do this. Your drone and the NLD mod client is the activation together. It won't work without it. The output folder, we're going to browse. I'm going to make a new folder here. I'm just going to call it the new APK. Now, once you get this, now there's the output folder. Now all we got to do is apply patch. Okay, now it says the patching will begin. Please be patient and let it do its magic. So what it's doing is it's taking a clean APK file and it's patching it. And then you need to learn, find someone that knows, or YouTube video on how to install APK files on your Android device. It's fairly simple. Every device is a little different, but they all work the same. If you have an Explorer file app already put on your device, it allows you to download any of that. So this is working its magic. In the end, it's going to place the brand new file in that folder we created on a desktop.